Hi everybody. My name is Mikaya Muramoto. And I loved this module. I loved learning about stress and the different effects that it has on us and our bodies. I loved learning about just how stress is inevitable. Stress is honestly healthy, but there also are extremes where it can be very unhealthy. Um, and just kind of the different ways to manage that and recognize that, being able to emotionally regulate ourselves. But I really loved this workshop because it did help with just that emotional regulation, just kind of understanding triggers and when we are finding ourselves getting into situations like that and what we can do to best prevent and help us when we are in those situations. So, speaking of the worksheet, some things that I realized that shrink my window of tolerance. So, I just kind of that just kind of makes me think of all the different stressors that I have in my life. I mean, I'm in my earlier 20s, and with that time of life, there's a lot of stressors. I'm just trying to figure out my life. Currently, I'm working full time at a mental health clinic, and I really love it. I also am taking 18 credits of school, which has definitely kept me way busier than I'm used to, and just kind of trying to figure out how to balance that. Also, trying to get some volunteer hours in with that, on top of being a part of like an institute council for UVU, and then also just maintaining relationships, being a part of my ward, and on top of that, just like dating life and just what I want to do there for my future, kind of figuring out what I want to do as a career, maybe future schooling. There are a lot of different stressors. Sometimes I just kind of overwork myself. I just plan a lot of things into my schedule that I get very overwhelmed, and it definitely shrinks my window of tolerance. Things that I believe expand my window of tolerance. I've had to get really good, especially this past semester, just kind of figuring out different things that I can do to calm myself down. And that's kind of what I think of when I think of expanding my window of tolerance. I am a big believer of deep breaths. I loved box breathing. That's something that I definitely do in my life, and it was cool to have that as a reminder. Just 4 seconds in, hold 4 seconds, and then 6 seconds out. I don't know. I just feel like that calms me, helps get my heart rate regulated, just helps me understand, like, okay, I am in control of my situation. The situation is not in control of me. I really love to journal. I love writing in my journal. I love reflecting about different things that are going on, pondering things I'm learning. Kind of just gives me a second to calm down and to slow down. Really love journaling. Talking with people. I think it's huge when you have things going on. Sometimes I feel like we just want to take on the world by ourselves, but we've been so lucky and blessed with people and just real life angels that are among us that are going through similar things or have experienced similar things, and they just want to support and cheer us on. One time I heard like we have the opportunity to give people life, and we can do that by letting them help us. That helps them feel like they have purpose, and honestly it probably helps them more than it helps us, just like them feeling like they're needed. So I just think like reaching out and talking to people about it is huge. If you just think of, I know a lot of times I'm like, I just don't want to feel like a burden. But if I think of any of my friends that have like ever reached out to me in a time of need, I feel so honored that they thought of me, and I just want to do anything to help. So I know that is the same for them as well. I love to exercise. I like to get my heart pumping. I love being outside, especially in the mountains. I just feel like all of my worries just seem to shrink when I'm there. Definitely puts things into perspective that the things going on right now are really not as big of a deal as I'm making them out to be in my head. Warning signs that I'm becoming dysregulated. I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like my chest gets really heavy. My heart starts to pound. I feel very unmotivated. Maybe I zone out. I'm not able to be present. I'm just like hyper focused. My brain's going a million miles an hour. Hyper focused on just everything that's coming up, that I can't be present. I can't give like those around me my full attention. Circumstances I experience hyper arousal is like when I feel like I need to find a solution to something right then and there. Like, okay, this is going on. I can't control this, but like I need to make it my mind up now. Like, what do I want to do? And so I like kind of come in that fight or flight period, and a lot of times I end up making irrational choices because I'm like, oh, I have to do it now. But then circumstances where I feel like hypoarousal is when I make a mistake or something and I'm just so embarrassed. I just want to hide. I get high anxiety. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to go into work, or like, I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to talk about what just happened. That makes me feel very motivated. I don't want to leave my room. I just feel very discouraged, very stressed. How does the window tolerance connect with the stress response? Oh, I just feel like when I'm feeling unsafe, when I'm not feeling calm, when I'm feeling unregulated, it will trigger different stress responses. So they definitely, depending on how I'm feeling, definitely triggers different stress responses. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I learned about myself and this experience going through the worksheet. I'm excited to hear what all of you learned as well.